I'm very excited to be moderating this panel and chatting to you all today. For those of you who are tuning into Millie for the first time, Millie is a company dedicated to building a global community for international students, which is why we host these panels and webinars every weekend. If you are interested in any future events we host, follow us on Instagram at Millie_group for updates. So here is how today's panel is going to look. We have some questions pre-prepared already, but we encourage you to submit as many as you like in our Q&A box here on Zoom. Throughout the hour, we'll go through the pre-prepared questions with our panelists. And during this time, we'll let our panelists answer any of your questions that come through. And whether it's more general or perhaps more specific to the university that both of our panelists have gone to, we encourage you all to make the most of these fantastic people, and I'm sure they will be more than willing to help you in any way that they can. Speaking of which, please let me introduce our amazing panelists, Elena and Hosea, both of which are going to share their wisdom and experiences of Spanish university. So please can we kick off with your name, the city you are currently in, and both of which where you're from. What are you studying? And one fun fact about yourself. Elena, please, can you kick off for us?
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Elena and I'm from Luxembourg in Germany. Currently, I'm studying BBA, so Business Administration in Segovia, which is a bit more in the north of Madrid. And a little fun fact about myself would be that I'm currently learning my 6th language.
Okay, hello everyone. Good afternoon, Lottie, Elena. It's a pleasure to be with you. And I am actually in Spain right now. It's 5 p.m. I know that in the States it might be like 11 a.m. right now. But okay, so my name is Josue. I am 21 years old. I am from Ecuador, the capital city, Quito. I am majoring in international relations at the University of Navarra in Pamplona. It is actually my 3rd year at the degree, but a curious fact is that it's actually my 4th year because I actually changed degrees pre-COVID, and now I'm actually studying something completely different from what I started. But yes.
Thank you very much, both. Okay, so we're going to kick off with some questions. So first of all, what was both of your journeys to Spanish university? Both very unique, I imagine, but what was your journey from high school to choosing what you were going to do as you were leaving university to what you're doing now?
So I think it's very exciting for everyone. It's also hard to choose your degree in general, but I did IB before coming to this university, and I already had the course business management, and I really enjoyed it. I think it's in general important to see which subjects you enjoy, which subjects you're good in. And then I decided, okay, I want to go in this direction. Then it was very clear for me that I wanted to study in Europe because I like the European community. And in general, I was in European school before, so I enjoyed the European lifestyle. And then I was looking at the different universities, what were good universities in Europe, and I wrote down a list with maybe the fees, where I could live, what, I don't know, any bullet point for you, which is important for each university, you could write down. And I think I had about 10 universities on my list at the end. And then I just started applying. I had I think they're called university counselor in my university, my school, and she also helped me a lot with that. So if you have this in your school, I would really advise you to use them because they're super helpful. And then I started reading writing my motivation letters and looking at my CV. And then I actually was accepted at all of the universities, so I had the free choice. And then I decided to go here because a brother of a friend of mine went to IE University. And yeah, he told me that the life balance of, okay, you need to study a lot, but you also have a nice life in Spain, was very appealing to me. And then I was in between ESADE, which is in Barcelona, and IE, which is near Madrid and in Madrid. But yeah, I decided to go into the bigger city and also to a university because it's a bit more technological, a bit more futuristic, and I really like that aspect. And yeah, this is how I chose my university.
Okay, yeah. So in my case, I actually graduated in 2019 from high school in Ecuador, and from a young age, I was always very interested in traveling to Europe. I actually lived a couple of years in the United States, and I realized that I wanted to go to another place that was not actually in my own country. And I was captivated by the European way of life. The first time that I visited was actually 2017. I went on an exchange trip to France. I stayed there 1 month. I practiced my French, perfected it. And then I realized that I actually wanted to go study abroad. When I graduated in 2019, I actually applied to different universities, as Elena has said. But the ones that I applied to in France were not like, well, I did not get in because my level of French was not as high. And then I started applying to several ones in Spain. And the one that was most appealing to me was the University of Navarra, because I actually heard from a friend that it was it had a very good reputation. It was a good university, and it had great exchange trip opportunities, particularly appealing to international students from all over the world. And also one of the most important factors was language. So for me, as I am a bilingual student, it was very easy for me to pursue my students and my studies and to find out what I really enjoyed. So that is the reason why I chose the Spanish university in the end.
Thank you so much both for sharing that. I guess one of the other things that I think is really difficult with university is obviously using the school resources, but what did you guys use as tools and resources, perhaps online or something to kind of choose your university for our students to get a grasp of what's out there to use as like external research if they're looking for somewhere to pick?
Yeah, I think it was very difficult for me as well. I mean, there's always those little online tests where you can put in your strengths and see which degree fits best to you. But I think what helped me a lot, I did a lot of internships before already starting to study. I didn't do a gap year, but if you have the choice or if you're in a gap year right now, I would advise everyone to just have a little grasp in each field in which you're interested in and see, okay, do I see myself working there? And then maybe also talking to students that are actually at the university, looking at their study material and see, okay, do I see myself sitting there and learning this for 8 hours a day during finals? And I think that's very important because I mean, some universities are harder than others, but still you need to be super motivated to be that determined and to get those good grades in the end. But yeah, so as I said already, I had the university counselor, I did those online tests as well. And it always said, okay, I'm a very open person. They always told me the business direction is something that I should go into. I would maybe advise even doing a dual degree. I'm not doing that, but business might be a bit plain for some people. So connecting that with something you're interested in. And the good thing is about dual degrees that you can often drop one of the other. So if you start with two things, you can always decide, oh, okay, I actually don't really like business. I'm going to go with, let's say, data analytics or the other way around. So if you're really in between two things, maybe look for a university that has the dual degree of those things and then decide after all if you want to continue with both or just continue with one of the two. Yeah, this is how I did it.
Okay, so basically, as I mentioned to you before, the initial course that I was actually studying in the university was not actually international relations, it's actually biology. And I studied for an entire semester and I realized that it really was not what I was looking for. And when I graduated from high school, I did not know what I wanted to choose as my profession. Initially, I wanted to go for medicine. I took a medicine exam, I did not pass it. And then the University of Navarra, which I was admitted to, had other very appealing programs in regard to sciences. So I chose biology. But I realized that it really wasn't what I wanted. And I actually used two very useful resources offered by the university to know what I wanted to do, which were the aptitude test and also the international foundation program. The first one, the aptitude test, was basically consisting of 30 multiple choice questions. And after there was an interview with an advisor, with a mentor that asked you personal questions. What were you most interested at what did you want to do. I found that I was very analytical. I liked speaking in public. I was naturally drawn to politics, history, etc. So in the end, it was something that helped me choose what I wanted. And also, the other resource was the foundation program. As I said before, the university allows you to take several courses of different degrees, different classes of different degrees. And in the end, if you pass them, you're able to validate those credits when you start studying that degree. So I studied some courses of international relations, such as cultural geography, international relations theory, history, and also history of law. And when I started studying international relations, all of those credits validated to what I am studying now. And for that is why I chose it, because it was a degree that was particularly appealing to me. And I saw myself pursuing that career path when I finish it. And now that I am close to finishing the degree, I'm actually in the third year, I can see that I made the right decision and I do not regret it. I am having the best time of my life.
That's fantastic. I mean, I think that's a great sort of two examples actually of using resources and tools to not only find what you want to study, but also knowing that you can change it at a later date. A lot of people, I think, come from high school thinking that they have to follow a really sort of, I guess, direct route into something, and actually knowing that you can change while you're there is something that's not discussed a lot. So I hope that's helpful to people who are listening right now. Another thing that we want to ask is, I guess, what's the favourite part of your degree that you're studying right now? Is there any project or module that you're doing that you're interested in sharing with us?
Yes, of course. So I have about 7 to 9 courses each semester, so already had a few. I mean, there's always going to be things you like more than others, but so far I really like the management classes. My university is very practical, so all of our professors work in the field that they teach in. So they use a lot of real life examples, and we also have a lot of group works. And in marketing, for example, we have this is going to be next semester, but we already started a bit this semester. We work together with companies, and there's a huge competition at the end, but everybody writes a marketing plan in their group and we submit it, and the best one out of each degree, because other degrees also have marketing, get into the next round. And it has a bit of a competitive edge to it, but at least you have the feeling you're actually doing something useful, which is very, very nice. But yeah, marketing, I liked a lot. Management, I liked a lot. But I think it varies from person to person, and also varies from professor to professor. But so far, there wasn't a single course where I was sitting there like, okay, I can't see myself there whatsoever. But also, both of my parents work in the financial district, and I thought, oh, maybe that's something I'm gonna do in the future. I think that's what a lot of people tend to do. And then now having the financial classes, I'm sitting in those and I'm thinking, oh, maybe not. Maybe they're actually not as fun as I thought as I thought they will be. But I think it comes with each year, it comes with each new course, and often the courses also build up on each other, so they become more interesting with time. Because in the beginning, the unis just try to bring everyone on the same level, so you just sit there and think every idiot knows what we're doing here. But then after the second or third semester, you realize, okay, now I understand why we've actually gone like through all of these little procedures just so everybody's on the same level, and now we can actually produce something useful. So yeah, I'd say for me it's management and marketing, but it might change next semester.
Okay, so in my case, what I found, I find one of the most appealing aspects of my degree is that there are many classes which are focused on specific regions. As I told you, international relations degree has many different aspects of international law, history, etc. And these classes on specific regions, they have a very focused perspective. For example, in a continent such as Asia, Africa, North America. This semester, we're doing 2 classes, one on Latin America and Africa. And next semester, we're going to be doing one based on the Middle East. And the most appealing aspect of this is that all of the regional classes, or at least most of them, have what is called an on-site program. So each year, at the end of May, the first week of June, the university offers international relations students the capacity, or well, the a trip to a different city. For example, the first year for international relations in North America, we go to Georgetown University in Washington. Second year to a university in Beijing. And the one that I'm most looking forward to is for the one for next year in the Middle East. We're going to go to Jerusalem. It has been one of the countries that I most want to visit in terms for what I'm interested, international defense and security. And it is something that I really, really think elevates this degree as one of the most appealing ones for international students all over the world, because it allows you to travel, which is one of the things that I really like doing, learning about different cultures, speaking different languages. And yes, basically, this is one of the best things that my degree has in general. And also, there is also the opportunity of an exchange trip in the last year of the degree, which the first semester of the fourth year, the university offers several trips to other countries for students that have the requirements, for example, taking a TOEFL test, etc. So yes, that's something that I really enjoy.
That's fantastic. I mean, there's a huge variety there. I also think it's so good that there are so many opportunities within each of your disciplines. And I guess what I wondered was, is there any sort of real life work experience or internships or placements that are on offer for not only your disciplines, but do you know at your university that people have done so that they can actually, I guess, get some experience what it's like post-university? And I think that's something that we've all wanted a bit more of post coronavirus and everything, is to kind of be able to go out there into the real world and see what's kind of job opportunities are out there.
So for the university, in general, they're super helpful. We have the Student Support Center. We have a whole career development program, which we start already in the first semester. So first semester is all about having a perfect CV, how to talk in interviews. We can always contact them. And then after the second semester, we have a long summer break. They give us 3 months to maybe find an internship or work in a related field. And you can just send them a quick email and tell them, hey, I need help. I can't find anything. The nice thing is we have a huge international community. A lot of people's parents are entrepreneurs, so they all have their own businesses. So you can just ask a friend, hey, does your dad need help? Does your mother need help? And this is how I found most of my internships so far, through friends. So the networking experience is amazing here. But we also have little fairs where a lot of companies come. I know that the employment rate after the bachelor is already great. They help you to continue with the master in the university. After the second or third year, you already receive emails from companies saying, hey, do you want to come for an internship? Do you want to start working with us after your bachelor? So so far, I haven't heard anyone having problems finding a job. As the university is super helpful, the companies already know about the university's reputation. And if both of them don't help, you always have friends you can go back to and ask, hey, do you have something for me for a little internship or after university?
Yes, so my university definitely has several opportunities that are given to university students that are pursuing their degrees if they want to find, for example, internships or career opportunities. One of the most important aspects, I think, is the career services branch, which is offered by all of the faculties of the university. Basically, this is an online website in which different job opportunities and internship opportunities are posted for students that pursue different experiences. For example, students that are interested in biology, medical sciences, also architecture, etc. They post the ones that are most appealing to the students. Then the student can consult with a mentor and gather the best information as to how they can apply for that position. They also help students with doing their curriculum vitae, also with their LinkedIn in LinkedIn profiles as well. And it's something that has helped me personally very much this last year, as I am going to be pursuing an internship for the next semester, and let's hopefully a job. And also within the different faculties, there are also other opportunities for students that are interested, for example, in international relations. I am taking on a position in the Center for Global Affairs and Strategic Studies, which is basically a think tank that allows students to analyze important pieces of information regarding international relations and international affairs. And it teaches students how to write analytical papers. And another thing that I have tackled is a position as a research assistant for a professor in international security studies. It basically tackles some of the same elements as the Center for Strategic Studies, but it is the professor that actually gives us like specific mentoring on what field we want to pursue. We can write papers with him, and he can credit us in the research papers that he releases. There are many students, many classmates that study with me that actually are taking also research assistant positions. I have a friend that is organizing the Model United Nations for our university the next semester. And many of them are also working in volunteering experiences, such as the International Red Cross Organization, and also Tantaka, which is a volunteering program within my university, which is very, very appealing and engaging to the international community.
If I might add something quick, I just noticed I forgot a couple of things. So my university also offers the youth corporate program, which is a program where you can apply to. Not everyone is accepted, but everybody has the chance to apply, which is a program where you can choose a couple of companies. Your CV gets sent to them, and then they can choose the students they prefer or fits their profile best. And from there, you can work with the companies while you're studying. So you have internships during the summer with them, then you start your studies again. But after your studies, you can always go and work with them or work half a semester there. It really depends on the company. But they offer this for, I think, about 20 companies, like KPMG, Telefonica, really depending on your degree. Then as you do international relations, I just noticed that the university has a collaboration with the UN. So I think in the 30, I'm not sure, you can apply for a position there, and then you work together with the UN during summer, and also through clubs. So we have an investment club, any club you can think of, basically. But the clubs often also have collaborations with companies where you first invite them as guest speakers, then you get to know one of the company's partners or officers, and then from there on you stay in contact and they work with them as well. You send your CV, and then you also get internship positions, or afterwards the contact for potential work position. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I mean, some of the names that you guys were saying there are huge. And I think to know that through university, specifically the Spanish universities, that you can get these sort of networks and connections to these sort of employers is something that as an undergraduate, you really want. You want to know that you're investing in this degree for a certain career afterwards. And it certainly sounds like you are. Now, we are going to move on from the academia side of things to perhaps what it's like to sort of live and socialize where you guys are. So what is your campus like? Are you sort of city campus or town campus? And what kind of societies and clubs are you guys involved in as well outside of your degree? Because that's just a whole other fantastic part of going to university, is getting involved in those things as well.
So as I already mentioned, IE has multiple campi. So I'm in the Segovia one. There's one in Chamartin, which is in the north of Madrid, and they have one in the city center. My campus is, because Segovia is super small, everybody walks a maximum of 10 minutes to university. So it's super local. Everybody sees each other. It's a very, I wouldn't consider it as school, but everybody knows one another, as it's a university town. We all live in the same area. It's very nice. It's super easy to make friends. They also have student accommodations where you can, I think it's easy for, especially for people that come in the first year and people that are outside of Europe. It's very easy to just rent your room. You meet people in your, maybe in your apartment, but in general, here in Segovia, it's super easy to make friends, to be close to uni. In Madrid, it's a bit more difficult. It's a huge city, but after all, both like they just built a whole new campus. It's called the Tower. It's directly in the middle of, I think, PwC and KPMG. So you're directly in the financial district of Madrid. It takes some time to get there, but the facilities are great. You have gym, swimming pool, you have 20 something floors, new classrooms, everything you can think of, especially for, I think, design. If some of you are considering to study design or architecture, they have amazing labs. They help you with all of these little things. The technologies is amazing. They give us access to any program you can think of. And then there's another campus in the city center, which is, I think, more for master students. This is amazing. If you want to live in the city center, walk to uni 5 minutes, want to be in a, want to live in a huge city, that's great. But all of these 3 campuses are amazing. And then in terms of clubs, or where we are, what I'm doing after university. So the past 3-4 weeks have been a bit stressful for me because I founded 2 clubs. First, because in Germany, we play a lot of hockey, and me and a friend of mine founded a hockey club, and we just will start training soon. But here, at least in my university, it's very easy to found your own club. If it doesn't exist, you just talk to they call it the campus life, and you just talk to them, tell them what is missing for you, why you want this club. They also aid you a lot with financial help. We didn't have this hockey sticks or balls, and they ordered them for us straight away. So that was amazing. And then I'm involved in the student government. I'm in the academics committee, talking to the academics officers, telling them especially what my degree, BBA, what we struggle with, so we can implement little things that make our life easier. Then I'm in the development committee, so I'm a mentor. I have 3 mentees from there that are new from last year, and I'm just helping them to set foot in Segovia. And everybody can apply for that. And I think that's actually very useful, because then you have someone in the older degrees which you can always ask questions to, or at least, you can always go back to someone. And then I'm also my class representative. So each course or each degree, well, for my degree, we are 3 classes, and each class has 1 class representative, and everybody can apply to do that. And everybody also has a great chance. There's always 2 people. We're around 40 students. And then if there's any problems with deadlines, with our degree, with any tests, we can always talk to the professor. So these are the main things I'm doing in IU right now.
So referring back to what Elena said, what I think is particularly attractive about Pamplona is that it is a small city, is one of the smaller cities in Spain. There are many people from all over the world that come over to Pamplona. And the campus is very, very nice because it is large and separated into multiple faculties. For example, the one that I study is the Amigos faculty, which is for economics and business administration majors. There's also the FECOM, which is communication, Facultad de Arquitectura, sciences, and medicine. And there are also other faculties in other cities in Spain. For example, also in Madrid, there is a particular campus that is for master students, and also one in San Sebastián, which is a very charming city in the north of Spain, is actually in País Vasco. It's close to the coast. There is a faculty there for engineering students, and it's a very beautiful place. I've been there a couple of times. And also going back to Pamplona, it is a small university town, and there are many different clubs and societies which allow students that have many different interests to participate in. As I said before, within the Faculty of Law, there is the debate club, You have the Model United Nations, which is organized in February every year. The Public Diplomacy Club. You have a Security and Defense Club, which is one that I am currently on. And also there is a Global and Strategic Affairs, which I also joined. Also particularly attractive for law students is the Moot Court, which is offered specifically to law students. There are also a lot of sports activities, as previously said by Elena. A lot of classes like soccer, basketball, volley. I am taking some classes in kickboxing. First time I'm doing so, and I'm pretty satisfied with it. And also for students that are particularly interested in the fine arts, it is also very appealing in terms of there's university choir. There is also a workshop dedicated to students interested in drama and musicals. I have joined this for the last couple of years. At the end of November, mid-November, this club organizes a musical, and it is hosted by the Museum of the University. And it is a great experience for students that are really into the fine arts to get motivated and to join and to open themselves up to different activities. And basically, I think that is one of the reasons why Pamplona is just so attractive, because there's a lot of things that you can do within the campus and outside of the university. Also for Erasmus students that are also students within the European Union that want to meet new people, have new experiences outside of class. I think it's really great.
We have got a question from the Q&A, and I think it slightly relates to your campus as well. But I guess this person's asking, how would you describe your uni accommodation, and what type of accommodation sort of is it? Because I'm presuming you guys had like sort of first year accommodation, because in the UK you kind of are living in halls and then you go into a house maybe, or a flat or something. Is it quite similar where you guys are, and has it sort of significantly differed across the years as well?
So here in Segovia, at least, I know for both Madrid and Segovia, there are student accommodations where you pay a certain amount each month, and depending on the accommodation, but most of them, you have your own room, your bedroom, often food is included in the morning and the afternoon. I'm not sure, but depending on the accommodation, you have a cleaning lady, you have everything from Wi-Fi to whatever you need. Me personally, I had an apartment from the first year, especially people that already have friends that are here. IE is known for the whole networking. So everybody who comes already has a friend who has been here. So a lot of people know, okay, where are the good apartments? Where should I start looking? But especially if you're from outside of Europe, people go to those accommodations because you also need a NIE number. It's not as easy to get to get an apartment, but for the second year at least, everybody goes out of these accommodations, finds their own apartment, often takes the apartment of a friend who's in third year then and goes to Madrid. So it's all very familiar. Everybody finds their own place. In Madrid, it's a bit harder because you compete not only against students, but against any other person that wants to live in Madrid. In Segovia, it's mostly university students that look for new apartments. But there as well, the student support center helps you a lot. You can always email them. They help you to get your NIE number. They help you to find a good apartment. If there's problems, they're always there to help you. So I didn't have a problem. I luckily had a friend who I moved in with. But I didn't hear of anyone who had a problem finding an apartment. So in Spain, luckily there are some apartments. It's not too hard, and especially if you have friends, it's easy to get a nice place where you feel comfortable. And right now I'm in an amazing apartment. I have two of my closest friends living with me, so I can't complain. And I know that other people have the similar feeling.
So this is actually a very important question for me, as my accommodation experience has significantly differed across the different years. So, for example, Pamplona offers many accommodation services within, like for first-year students. The first year I was actually living with Campus Home, which is a company that excels at this. I was living in an apartment, of Campus Home. And there are many other companies, for example, Go Housing, Unibooking, Mi Campus, etc., that are also really good. But Campus Home is one of the most renowned accommodation companies in the city. And basically, it's good for first-year students because it opens them up to the community, offers many different experiences and trips, also hosts parties and gatherings with students, and also offers two different services, which is the full plan and the half plan. The full plan is that basically there is a cleaning service for first-year students, a person that goes to the apartments, cooks food for the student, also allows for the cleaning, housekeeping services. And there's also the half plan, which is somebody goes to the apartment, cooks food for you, but then the student does all of the housekeeping by themselves. And for the first 3 years of my university life, I was actually in the full service of Campus Home. And it was actually very good for me because as a first-year student, I've never been away from my home. And in Latin America, it's very common to have like people helping you out with these sort of things. So it was good for me. But then for my fourth year, I actually realized that since I already knew how things worked out here, how I wanted to structure my different time, my academics, my experiences with my friends, I actually wanted a lot more privacy, and I felt that I wasn't getting it from this company. So now I am living in a private apartment with two of my friends from my degree. And I think that it definitely has its pros and cons. It was very challenging for me the first couple of months. This is actually now my third month living in this apartment, but it's really enriching. It's an experience that I would recommend to everybody that is coming to study here. Maybe the first couple of years, if you have the opportunity to go living in an apartment owned by a company, that they have all these activities that are open for first-year students so that you may understand how the university works, how Pamplona works, how the international community is structured, then I definitely recommend them doing that. But after some years, you want to get a grasp on how it all works when you're independent. And for me personally, I'm very grateful that I chose this decision because it has allowed me like growing not only in my professional life, but also in individual things. So that is something that I definitely enjoy.
Brilliant. Well, it sounds like both of you used a company and maybe friends to try and find accommodation as well. So it's nice to know that there's two different options there. I personally used friends of friends, people who came from my school who had also gone to that place, or, just mutual people that I knew. But I also know that is really difficult if you're traveling across from very, very far away or from a different country. It's really helpful to have those institutions there that can help you kind of settle in, get to know places, get to know how to kind of navigate the housing market when you're there as a student. So those were some really useful tips and advice there for you guys listening. I think one other thing that people are interested about with both of your universities independently is, have you got quite a similar kind of, I guess, structure to how you prepare for assignments and how you prepare for sort of end of year, I'm presuming that's when it is, modules and things, because that is what kind of navigates the whole university and how you're doing until the end. So it's really helpful to know what kind of tips you'd give everyone.
So again, it really depends on the subject and what type of personality you are, and also what types of assignments you have. For me, especially in the beginning of the semester, also towards the end, where we need to hand in big projects in a group, so, for example, in marketing, we need to hand in a huge marketing plan, and my group and I decided, okay, what can we start with right now? What possibilities do we have? Do we already split up the work? We have meetings every 2 weeks. So I think, as everybody is probably already told you, is start as soon as you can. Don't push everything back to December when you have finals and 7 subjects, 3 huge assignments due, and 5 presentations. So the things you can do at the moment, start doing them. For mathematical subjects or accounting subjects, I think it's super important to just go with the flow. So as soon as the professor hands you an assignment or you have a bit of homework, do the homework. If you have a problem, talk to your professor. Don't wait until December and you notice I have no clue what I'm doing in all of my 7 subjects. And then for me, at least, it always helps me to study alone for maybe 1 or 2 days. And then 2 or 3 days before the test, I sit with my friends and we go over all of these things. Also, people tend to sit with your friends a lot and study with them, but it's also very helpful to have study buddies. So you don't need to be best friends with them. Those people don't need to be the people you go out with each Friday, but these are your university friends, which can actually help you to become a better person in university. They're smarter than you, they know more than you, and just profit from that. Sit with them and they'll help you. And it's also super useful for them to explain it to others. So if a friend comes to me and is like, Elena, I don't understand anything, and I sit with them and explain it to them for 2 hours, it also helps myself to just go over the syllabus again. So I think to have your friends to go over the syllabus and to go over certain problems, and also university friends, is very helpful. And at least my university also has the courses are called zero courses. So in case you have a problem with math, you'll go into math 0 and you get 1 hour of extra help each week, where you can ask questions, have problems, but in general, or professor of office hours, where you can always click on the Zoom link and they're there and you just ask them the questions. But just keep up to date with the assignments. Don't push everything back on the syllabus. That's probably what every university does. You can see session 22, I need to hand in an assignment. And even if you're session 1 or 2, you know, session 22 is in the end of November. And that's also for all the other 6 subjects. So make sure, okay, this is what's coming, and just put it into your calendar so you're not surprised in session 21, in 2 days, I need to hand in this huge thing. So just look at the syllabus before starting to work, and then see, okay, where and how can I fit in my little things. But in general, I think that Spanish universities help you a lot with that, and you also have a lot of free time, and it's not like you're studying 8 hours a day in Spain normally, depending on your degree, of course, but you also have fun. So I don't mean to scare off anyone.
Okay, so I'm not going to go too far into this because it has already been perfectly explained by Elena. But basically, the way that assignments are assessed in my university is at a 10-point scale. So basically, the highest grade is a 9 with honors. Then you have 8 excellent. Then 7 is good, and then you have pass, which is 6. And the way that well, before I go any further, also the test periods, the final exams are in December and in May, June of the next semester. And the way that I prepare for final exams is by doing a lot of conducting research on my own, reading some books, presentations that are given by the professors, gathering knowledge from articles. And what works really well for me is discussing with friends from my own degree and testing each other's knowledge. So this is the best thing that you can do. I mean, whenever I feel that I don't understand something, I just try explaining a topic to one of my friends, and then I realize that that's the best way that I can gather information. And my colleague also benefits from this, or testing each other, debating, quizzing. It's really a good way of gathering information. And as Elena has also said before, it also depends a lot on how you as a person are used to studying. If you're a very visual person, then it will be good to focus on particular PowerPoint presentations. If you're an auditive person, it's good that somebody explains it to you. If you're a more visual person, etc. I mean, try to find ways of how the study session best fits you. And the same thing when doing research projects, be it writing a long essay or filming a documentary or whatever of the sort. You have to focus on how the best way in which you can do it and that's going to work out for you. And it's not that complicated. Once you know the best way in which you do it, you are good to go.
Also, I know we were both talking about learning Spanish as you are living in Spain and everything. How are you guys finding living in a foreign country? What kind of things would you advise people who are going to a different country to study? How can they sort of learn the language and learn, I guess where they can sort of have support from university, but also learn from locals or friends and things like that? Because obviously it's really important if you're living there, you're going to the supermarket, you're going to all these different places where people speak that language, you want to feel comfortable and not too far away from home. So what are you guys finding useful in that sense?
I think what's very important to point out is that you're not the only one. Everybody's new. Everybody is in first year. Everybody's going away from home. No one is alone. Everybody is there. Everybody starts something new. And then a lot of Spanish universities help you with learning Spanish. They all offer courses. You can now, with all the technologies you have, you can even already start learning Spanish on Bumble or either app you could find on the App Store. And before going to university, the months you have in between school or starting or anything, you just already learn the small things like, I don't know, ordering a salad or ordering a pizza or whatever you want. And then as soon as you live here, you will start learning Spanish directly. You have your Spanish friend groups. You'll maybe make some Spanish friends. That's how I learned most of my Spanish. You just jump into the friend group. None of the Spanish speakers will start speaking English, so you just need to figure it out. And after 2-3 weeks, you understand it. And then, writing is, of course, a bit harder, but all of this comes with time. And as you're probably not the only international person, if you don't know the language there, everybody will be there, and you will also have your international friends. And coming here for me, I also moved from Luxembourg to Berlin before, and then from Berlin here. IE has a huge international community. So I think we're over 113 nationalities. So you will always find your own nationality here, but I don't think that's the point. You also want to have friends from somewhere else. You want to experience other cultures. And if you are in a class, I think that's the good base point to start off. You will find the first day you will walk into university, you will have your class. For me was BBA. I have 40 other friends there now. I walked in, a lot of new faces. I didn't know anyone. I sit there and then you notice, okay, everybody is nervous. Everybody's here. And then you have your first break and everybody starts talking a bit. There were already icebreaker programs. So they said a funny fun fact and then everybody laughed about it. And then you'll talk to the person. But I think it's the same for Pamplona and Segovia. With these people, you will also go out on a Friday. You will meet them in a bar over a drink. You will walk by Plaza and you'll see, I don't know, Jose from your class, and you're like, Jose, this is also your favorite beer. And then you sit together and drink a beer with them. In small cities, it's super easy because you will always walk past a person, you will always meet them in a bar, in a club, in a restaurant. And after 2-3 weeks, it feels like you've never been somewhere else because you know everyone, you have this huge community. So I wasn't scared. I was here, and then I was okay. There's really no reason to be scared for people that come. That was my experience, at least.
Okay, so in my experience, due to the language transition, it wasn't that challenging. But I do know that since in my degree, there are a lot of students that are international and speak many different languages. I have multiple friends from the United States, some friends from Eastern Europe. I have a friend that is from Qatar. And I can definitely see that the first couple of years have been very challenging for them, opening up to Spanish people and trying to speak the language, because it's, in my opinion, I think Spanish is much more difficult to learn than English. And I can definitely see those difficulties. But as I have said before, the university it offers a lot of opportunities to students that are wanting and willing to speak not only Spanish, but many different languages. It offers a very extensive language program French, Italian, Portuguese, which I think is very great. And there are also a lot of getting to know you sessions for students that are from different parts of the world. Also mentoring from Spanish students to other international students that are also very good. And definitely, I think that has been good for all of us, not only in my degree, but from people that I know from other degrees, to open up. What happened to me is that the first year that I came here, I used to go out a lot with the Latin American people group because I felt much more identified with them, shared a lot of aspects with culture, etc. And I was kind of nervous about opening myself up to other international students, particularly from Spain. But now I can tell you without a doubt that being third year of the degree, some of my best friends are actually Spanish from different parts of Spain. And they have opened me up to like different experiences that I never would have thought possible if it wasn't for opening myself up and not trying to be nervous and taking every opportunity that I had to go out with them and being with them and just like talking about things that I found interesting to myself. And I think that definitely is the case to many other students that do not know anything about Spanish. And it really isn't hard. Once you get that motivation, once you like open yourself up, it goes easy from there. And I would definitely like impulse and tell people to get out there because it's very worthwhile and it makes the university experience much more good in general. So yeah.
Thank you so much. I think that's really comforting for anyone who is going not only to a Spanish university, perhaps to any university abroad, to know that they can learn the language, but also they're going to have people there who have perhaps come from the same language as them or the same nationality. But I'm going to get a bit competitive here. I want both of you just in 10 seconds to try and sell your uni to anyone who's listening. It's going to be 10 seconds long. Elena, if you want to go first, and let's see who we think wins here.
Okay, so come to a university because first of all, we have all the different nationalities. You will find every nationality you want in each subject. You will have professors that are there from each degree working in the specific field, giving you actual input from their own company. You will have the chance to maybe work with them in their company. Then you have the innovational aspect. You have the technological hubs where you can go each day if you want to learn anything about programming to any other crazy technology you want to learn from. And then you have the chance to have a dynamic and multicultural lifestyle. So you have university, which is great, and you have the friends you make there, but you also have the Spanish lifestyle in Segovia, where you have all of your friends, where you can go from Segovia to Madrid. So you have the small city experience, but also the multinational, big city, how do you call it? Capital city experience from Madrid. And from there, you also have the opportunity to do exchange programs in over 100 different universities over the world, where you can also see a bit of other cultures and actually experience them in real life. So yes. Please come to a university.
Okay, so our university, University of Navarra, is one of the most renowned private universities in Spain and also in the world. As I told before, as I said, it is also very internationally accessible. Multiple students from all over the world come over here. Also within Europe, the Erasmus program is very, very appealing. And also it is one of the highest positioned universities in terms of law and medicine, as well as many other degrees. It has a lot of agreements with many universities around the world in Latin America, North America, in Asia, particularly appealing to Asia and Australia. And it definitely opens up that international experience that first year students are looking for, because it's very accessible. It's very, very good at what it does. It doesn't leave the student longing for knowledge. It gives them all the possible resources in terms of studies, extracurricular activities, mentoring. And I definitely think that if you are thinking about studying in Spain, it's a very good alternative. and you're going to really enjoy the 4 years, 6 years, 8 years that you spent studying here. I definitely have, and I would recommend to everybody.
Okay, guys, you've definitely sold Spanish uni to me. I might have to go back. I've already been, but I might have to go back. But thank you so much. Okay, everyone. Well, we are sadly at the end of today's panel, but a huge thank you to Elena and Hosea for being wonderful panelists and for sharing their wisdom, their helpful insight into both of their unique experiences actually from Spanish University. But also a big thank you to everyone who's joined us today from wherever you are in the world. Please, if you do join next time, drop in the chat perhaps which country you are watching from. And I think we can all agree that both of our panelists today have provided some hidden tips and tricks around your next steps for Spanish University and beyond. And once again, if you need any help with university and career guidance, do check out our website and our Instagram at Millie_group. And also both Elena and Hosea's I think it's LinkedIn's and emails are in the chat box now if you'd like to copy and paste those, and you can contact them. They've very kindly given those to help with any questions you may have. But thank you so much. I've realized I've had silver teeth pretty much throughout this whole conversation, which is great. Things Zoom does to you. But anyway, I really appreciate you both coming along. Thank you to everyone who's been listening, and I hope you all have a cracking rest of your day. I'll see you soon.